All right, good morning, everybody. Hello and happy Monday. First off, I want to welcome you guys to the new home of our virtual strength and conditioning classes, aka my mom's living room. So basically what's going down is we're converting underneath her deck, which is over there, into a home studio / gym. You saw the post that I literally just posted in the Facebook group. You already know this. But so in the interim, I'm going to be teaching in her living room until we get that all, renoed and construction and waterproof and all that down there. So anyways, this is us. And yay! For today's workout, we are training our lower body strength and our core. For equipment, I have this chair over here, my 8-pound dumbbells, and my loop bands. So that is what we are going to be using today. We are going to be doing some stuff, hip thrusting, as well as stepping up onto this chair. Now, this chair is a different style than the one that I was using at my other place there. So it's a little bit softer on the top, which is going to give me, I'm going to explain some different options that we can do for those of you who are more working with something like this and not something with such a hard top to step up on. So we'll talk all about that stuff as we go. We're going to start off with a nice warm-up, which starts down on the floor. So you guys can get yourself into your 90-90 position. So I'll have a seat down on the ground here. Woo! 90 degrees at both of our knees. So we want the bottom of the foot in line with the shin. Try to see how we feel sitting upright. Lock both the feet in place. And then we will flip the legs over right side and left side. And we'll go through 10 of these total. And we know the drill with these. We're trying our best to eventually get more comfortable in this. Do this with our arms up in the air like so. And so we'll go back and forth 10 times total. If you need to lean back, that's completely fine, but we'll try to keep our feet in place. Once you guys are done 10, we're going to get ourselves onto our side and going to our bow and arrow. So we've been here before. We're going to start off with stacking our legs, stacking our arms. We're going to take this top leg and weave it underneath the bottom leg like so. Big breath in. Exhale, we'll cross our body. Try to get the shoulder, the hand on the floor. If you have room, you can extend this arm all the way out that way. I don't quite have room. So I'm just going to touch it down to the floor and reach it up and over my head and reset back to the center. So we'll go through 5 of these per side. Exhaling as we open, reaching with the room that we have, and then 5 of them. So prioritizing, trying to keep this knee down over here, eventually getting that shoulder down as well. And you have 5. So maybe towards rep 4 and 5, you'll be able to do that. The first ones are a little bit tight, especially if you guys are doing this first thing in the morning or maybe after you have not done anything for a little bit, your work day or something like that. So we'll do 5. I feel like that was more than 5, but they just feel so nice. I cannot help myself. And then we'll switch sides so you guys can flip-a-roo or just flip over. I just want to keep looking at you guys. And then we will do the same thing on the other side. So stack and stack, exhale and cross, and then reach up and over our head. So it's kind of was, it took me a while to set up, and I'll actually show you guys a picture of my setup. It's quite hilarious. I have like this table on top of the coffee table to lift up the camera enough. But anyways, I don't quite have enough room. That's what I'm trying to say. So please do, if you have enough room, extend your arm out all the way. Go through those 5, and then we are going to stand up to the top. Come to the front of our mat, standing hip width apart, shoulder width apart in our feet, and we'll step back into a lunge, send both of our arms up above our heads, and we're just going back and down. Next one, we'll come back and 1 turn in. Back, 1 turn in, and we'll alternate those 2, just stepping back. You guys know I like to get the brain going as well as the body, and then back with 1 turn in. So we're getting a nice opening through the front of the hip, especially on that leg that goes back. A little bit through your chest, your abs, and we'll go through those, working through 10 times total, 5 of each type of those ones. There's like this tree outside, and it's like, I guess, is it a pine tree? I don't really know, but there's like these little prickle things. They're all over the floor and they poke you. So if you see me picking stuff up, that is what's going down. So we'll go through those. If you kind of lost count because they're a little bit confusing, that's totally fine. Just make this your last one. And then we are going to get ourselves moving on into some activation exercises. So the first one we're going to go through is that hip floated, glute loaded step through. So that's where we load up one of our legs. So I'm going to start with my left leg. I'll shift all of the weight over to this leg. Soften the knee, and then hinge our hips back. So I'm just going to push my hips back behind me. Wherever this foot ends up is fine. And then we can align opposite arms. So this leg is forward, bring up my opposite arm, and then we'll pull those hips forward. So push the hips back, and you'll feel that tension built up nice and tight on the standing leg here, and then use that to pull your hips forward. So we'll go through 10 of these total. It's not a lunge. We are trying to hinge our hips, push our hips back behind us, and then use that loaded backside to pull ourselves forward. So we get a nice glute butte activation action. So we'll go through 10 of those per side for the glutes. And that one is, it's pretty foolproof, but you never know. This light is super bright on my head. It's like catching me in the eye. All right, so we'll get you guys going on through those, both sides. So we'll take that same thing and we'll do it on the other side there, same opposite arms, a little Lorraine coordination action. We'll get 10 on both sides. And then we are going back down onto the floor for the next one, or two rather. So we have a bridge walk coming up next, which is glutes as well as core, trying to get all of that fired up. So we're going to stand with our feet more narrow than we normally are in a bridge, almost feet touching, lower backs pushed into the floor, which kind of makes us feel our core muscles working. So we'll squish that down, hands can go down on the floor, we'll drive our hips up to the very, very top while keeping that kind of tight situation. We don't want to be arching our back or sticking up our ribs. We'll pull those down. You should feel your glutes right now, right away. If you don't, try to make that happen. And then we'll lift up one leg, lower, touching that lower back, not your butt. Exhale, push back up. And then we will walk, switch legs, lower, back, exhale, drive up, and switch. And that was 2. Exhale, that's 3. So we're really trying to use our breath to push our hips up to the very top. When we switch legs, we're trying not to have any tilting or shifting happening in our hips. We want to keep those guys as still and stable as possible. And that's where you're going to get that core activation work and benefit, is if you are controlling that. If you're not, if your hips are just kind of tilting and rocking side to side, then again, you're just not going to get much for that core. So try to tighten it up. We'll go through 10 reps total, 5 per side on that one. And then don't go anywhere once you are done, which I don't think you guys are done yet, but you never know. Once you're done, we're going to finish off down here with a dead bug. Oh, we know it. Oh, we love it. So 10 total, 5 per side. And then we're coming into this one where we're doing 20 reps total, 10 per side. So a little bit more. Opposite arm and opposite leg are going to lower, while the other two stay while we're pushing our lower back into the floor. So we'll do that lower back first. Arms up, legs are at 90 degrees. Right arm, left leg, if you need to remind yourself, you can kind of wiggle your hand and foot. You can lower those down with either a bent or straight leg. If you can't keep your back down, then maybe try with a bent leg. And if you can, then you can try straightening out your leg. Whatever allows you to be as strong as possible through here and back here. We'll go through 20 reps of those per side. So you're alternating right side, left side, a coordination. Your hands and your arms, everything wants to move, but it's really important that we control these two and make sure that they don't move, not even a little bit. We don't want to be like, I know this looks more like a dead bug, but we want to have that control so that we can get that coordination work. Because you guys know, I'm always trying to sneak it in there because it's important. Connecting the brain, the body, all those things. We must do it. All right, good job, you guys. Ooh, so I am warm. Hopefully you are warm as well after going through all of that. Feeling nice and ready to start our workout. So what we're going to do is get you guys up off the floor once you're done that. You can grab a quick sip of water if you would like it. We're going to get ourselves set up for our first superset, which is going to be working with that step up. Now, step ups are one that we have been, we've started to incorporate about, let's say 4 weeks ago now. But anyways, I have been working with that like IKEA chair at my other place there. That's nice and hard and easy to step up onto. This one, on the other hand, is very soft. And I honestly, it's my mom's, and it's I don't want to break it, but I also don't want to hurt myself. So it's kind of like a mix of both those things. So instead of a step up, what I'm going to do is the skater squat or my reverse lunge. I'll probably work with the skater squat because today you guys are working with a lower rep range. We're doing 8 reps per side, consecutive ones. So we're going to go 8 on one side and then 8 on the other side. And then we are going to pair this with something, which we'll talk about when we get there. So if you are going to step up onto something, ideally you want it to be like about the height of your knee. But if you have something a little bit lower, whether it's like a stair, I'm pointing over there because there's a set of stairs over there, or a stool or something like that, and if you have nothing to step up onto that you're comfortable doing so, then you can just follow along with me and do this one. So what we're going to do for our first set, I'm actually going to hold one singular weight in front of me. Now I do a lot of skater squats, and I don't want to say I like them, but I've definitely improved at them. So I know myself, and I know that this is going to be challenging, but manageable for 8 reps. If you don't do skater squats, if you haven't been thinking about them, or if you're doing a step up or something like that, you can either go body weight or hold 2 weights. Remember that we are doing a lower rep range, so we're only doing 8. So if you're working with a step up, I want you guys stepping up to the top, driving your knee up. We're going to do the same thing if you're doing a lunge. So if you're lunging, we'll just step back, and then you can stand and drive your knee up. And if you're doing a skater squat, that's the one where we lower down and we touch our knee, and then we don't use that back leg to pull ourselves up. And I just use that front leg to pull up. And we'll go through 8 reps total per side. So I'm doing all this leg for 8, and then we will switch and do all this leg for 8. I should actually start on my right side because it's the harder side. So let's start our first set here. For those of you without dumbbells, you definitely do not need to hold a dumbbell. I like holding one in front of me on that one because it kind of helps with counterbalance, and I don't want to say it makes it easier, but it feels like it makes it a little bit easier than body weight. So it really just depends on you. We want a challenging 8 reps per side for those ones. So again, whether you are stepping up, whether you're doing a lunge, whatever you guys are doing. So we'll go through those, 8 and 8. And we are going to pair this with something, of course. I already told you that. You guys are going to work with a front-loaded squat. We're going to do a 1 1/4 rep squat, where we're following 8 reps total. Then we will take a little bit of rest, because this combo is definitely challenging. So those of you with weights, we're going to front-load those weights, like I said, holding them up at our chest here. If you do not have weights, you can hold something weighted that you have up in front of you like this. Or if you would like to get a little something else going on, you can grab onto a band, put it on your knees, and get that going on. So we're doing a 1 1/4 rep squat. So you guys are going to get into your squat stance, feet a little bit wider than our hips, toes pointed out. We're going to sit down to 90 degrees, come up a 1/4 rep, back down, and then we'll stand all the way up to the top. That's 1, and you are doing 8 of those. So again, down to 90 degrees, 1/4 up, back down, and then we're all the way up to the top. That's 2, and we are doing 8. So you guys can start your set. Once you're done those step-ups, lunges, skater squats, whatever variation you chose to do, we'll go right into those squats. 8 reps total, 1 1/4 rep, where we're controlling that quarter. It's not a pulse, it's not a bounce. I want an intentional 1/4 rep out of you guys. So we go down, we come up, we're very active, you feel tight in your lower body, and then we stand up to the top. So we'll go through those 8. Now once you're done those, you're probably feeling your legs. So we're going to take about 30 seconds, 45 seconds of rest before we complete our second set. And that is so that we can have a stronger second set, because these 2 exercises combine similar muscles, similar stuff going on here. So we want to just give everything in our lower body, our behind, our quads, all of that, just a little bit of time to rest. But we will keep that rest under a minute so that we can get through this. So grab water, you guys. When you are ready, we will go into our second set. Sometimes what happens is our first set we do, and especially when we're doing 8 reps, we can do it, and it's not the hardest thing in the world. So if you feel like you get to the end of your squats there and you feel kind of antsy and ready to start your second set, then go ahead and start your second set, but keep in mind that we should not be feeling like that at the end of our superset, okay? I want you guys feeling like you actually need to rest, like you could not do any more of those squats. And so to make that happen, maybe we have to think about it a little bit more. Maybe we actually have to do something to make it harder. So second set, when you guys are ready, maybe you've already started, let's do it up. So again, if you're doing a skater squat or a lunge, something like that, we are trying our best to focus just on that front leg. And I guess, yes, same thing applies to our step-ups. We're trying to just use that front leg to stand ourselves up to the top and have opposite leg actually drive up so that we get a little bit of that balance work, that balance benefits out of that one there. So we'll get the 8 and the 8. Good job, you guys. Breathing through those, trying to make them as challenging as possible. I don't know why. We're still just testing everything out, but this camera keeps going like so out of focus. I think it's to do because there's a light right there. I swear every time I look up, it's like so bright too. But anyways, we're gonna figure it out. I'm just thankful to have this nice quiet space to be in. You guys should be too. So we'll do our thing here. Once you guys are done your 8 and 8, we're gonna go into 8 of those squats with that quarter rep at the bottom. Now, those of you with sensitive knees, if you have some pre-existing knee stuff going on, what you can think about is simply just not sitting so low. I still prefer that you do hold some resistance, whether it's that weight or those bands, but rather than sitting down to 90 degrees, maybe you kind of hover above 90 and you take that quarter rep up there rather than us sitting all the way down. But on the flip side of that, there is absolutely no need for you guys to sit any lower than 90. If that's you, if that's happening, you're probably losing tension because that's typically what happens when we go below 90. So we'll just really focus on trying to stay tight in that lower body, especially because we don't have a lot of options in terms of weights, adding heavier stuff. Remember what I said, we want to be earning that rest that we get at the end of the superset. So please make this hard for yourself. Don't make it easy. We don't want to feel like we can get 10 or 12 or anything like that. Let's do it. So we'll get the squats, and then you guys can rest for that little amount of time. You can grab water, stay moving. Should feel a little bit less antsy on the second set here to start the third. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but you guys are doing 4 sets total. But you probably knew that was coming. So we'll do it up for our next set here. Those of you with bands, remember that you can always add more than one band. You guys have 2 more sets here. So we can double up more than one of these loop bands to crank that up a notch as well. 8 and 8. All right. So we'll get you guys going on your third set here. We have about 6 minutes until we should be starting our second part. So take your time. So lots of time to go through 2 more sets. So we're going on to our third set. So those of you working with the step-ups, I was very specific the last few days that we talked about these when I was doing them with you about not pushing up with that bottom foot. And I cannot stress that enough, especially because you guys are working with such a low rep range. We're only doing 8 reps per side, which is tapping more into like that strength. It's going to help you guys get stronger at these step-ups. So we want to focus the step-up on the one leg because it is a single leg exercise. So if you are working with the full-on step-up, which I am not going to do, but I will show you guys on here, before you actually step up, we want to think about pushing up onto that toe. And that's simply just going to take out any momentum that your calf, this lower leg muscle, will put into this to help you get up. So you don't want that. You want to focus on this front leg. So you can slightly lean into it, push up onto the toe, and then step yourself up to the top. And if you do like that, I guarantee you it's probably going to be a lot more challenging and a lot more beneficial because you're not using that momentum and pushing yourself up at the bottom. And I know that feels easier, but We don't want that. So we'll go right from that set into our squats. Third set, you guys have one more following this one. Going through this quarter rep. Now we've done these before with a half rep, like 1.5 rep squats, where I had you guys go all the way down, come all the way halfway up, back down. This is a quarter rep today. So we just want, again, not a pulse, but a smaller movement than that half rep. So we go down, come up a quarter, back down, and then stand up to the top. 8 reps. Just nice on this one. So we have one more round after this, the last set. Squats and step ups. There we go. Yeah, see, I don't know why it's doing this. There it is. Hopefully it's not too blurry on your end. Perfect. Okay, so take your rest, you guys. Again, 30 seconds, maybe 45 if you need it. Definitely keeping it under a minute, and then we will go into our final set. 8 reps on both sides, and then 8 1.25. Let's get it. Let's do it. Good job, you guys. So we'll get it going on here. Resting, breathing, starting that last set. I'm going to give you guys about 2 minutes to finish up this final set. So if you've not started already, you should think about starting soon so that you have time to get through it and do it. I don't know if it's a little bit more light. It didn't help. That's okay. All right. Okay. Let's get it, you guys. Final set. Let's do it. 8, 8, and 8, 1.25 reps. I'm going to give you 2 more minutes. 1.5 to finish up. There it is. All right. So this is it, guys. The last set of this first superset. I'm going to move on to the next one. So if you guys are kind of coming to an end here, some of us finish a little quicker than others. You grab yourself some water, walk it off. Just rest for about 1 minute because that is the amount of time that I'm going to give you guys to finish up here. So you have 60 seconds to get this last set in, which these don't take that long because it's a lower rep range. Those squats do take a little bit longer because of that quarter situation at the bottom, but we'll get through it in a minute, and then we'll move on to the next part, in which I am going to move this over here. All right, good job, you guys. Okay, so take time on that last set. Don't rush your reps. Should be done pretty quick here. So we're going to move on to the next part, which I have moved this chair here, which I am going to be using now, against something. So I just kind of pushed it up against this this bookcase here, which is very full, so it's very sturdy. You can push it up against a wall or something, and this is just a precautionary thing that I do, just so the chair is not slide, because no one wants to deal with that. It's just shocking, and I don't want you guys to deal with it. So I do this. You should do this if your bench or chair or whatever is kind of unstable. So we're going to be working with a hip thrust. You guys are going to be getting into a hip thrust position. Before we do that, though, we're going to talk about the single leg exercise we're doing with that one, which is our single leg deadlift to reverse lunge. So it's going to our combo move. Cannot talk. You guys are going to be using some form of weights, whether it is a dumbbells or bands, preferably something held on one side, so we get a little bit more work in our core. So I have 2 dumbbells. I'm going to put both of them onto one side here, and then I'll be standing on my opposite leg and starting with this side. So you guys can get yourself set up. If you're working with bands, you can have band in your hand and then band looped around opposite foot. We want the soft knee, Nice posture, strong core. Push your hips back, just like we practiced in the warm-up there, that step through. Pull your hips forward, all the way up. We're not touching down here until we step back into the lunge. And then we come up to the top, and that's one, and it's hard to do looking sideways. And then we go down, and up, and you guys are going to go through this combo of the deadlift to the lunge. The deadlift and the lunge equals 1, and we are doing 8 of those per side. Welcome back. So we'll get you guys going on here. If you do not have access to dumbbells, of course you could do this body weight, but I would prefer you add some kind of resistance. So if you do have bands, you can loop it around that opposite foot and then work through your deadlift to step back lunge. So same rules apply here for that lunge. We want to try our best to not use that back leg to push ourselves off. So you can think about even like lifting up that leg before you step up into the lunge. I know. Try that. I know that makes it a lot harder, but you're going to get more out of it. And then if it starts to get too hard, you just use that leg a little bit more to finish up your set. So we'll get those in. Again, the deadlift and the lunge equals 1. You are doing 8 of them on that side, and then you got to, of course, do 8 on the other side. So let's get it in. First set. And yes, you will be back here. We're going to do this 3 more rounds total. So we'll do both sides there. Get a nice strong core because we are loaded up on one side only rather than 2. We get more work in here because if we weren't working this, we would essentially just like flop over to that side. So whether you like it or not, or know it or not, we are using this. But if you think about it, if you actually actively pull it in, you're going to get much more in there. So do it up, pull it in, finish up your set. Once you're done, we're going to go into these hip thrusts where you guys are working with 15 reps. Ooh, we are going up into the high rep range. So standard, normal reps, we're doing 15 total. For most of us, we might want to add some form of, again, resistance or weight. So we could put the weight on our hips, add my 8-pound dumbbells there, or bands around my knees. You can do either of those things. I'm going to put the weights on my hips here, but of course, if you guys don't have weights, then band it up. Bands, if you are using them, can go either right above or right below our knees. If you're using weights, this is, I found, the safest way to get in and out of this. You can grab onto your weights and sit on your chair first, and then just hold your weights in place and lower yourself down into your hip thrusting position. Line your feet, and then you can hold these weights with both hands and go through your hip thrust. And of course, you can use, again, household weighted items here. You can get a bag, fill it with heavy stuff, put it on your hips, and it's all going to help you get more work in your butte and your glutes. So we'll go through 15 total, 1, 5. Down and up. We're coming down right before our knees start to rock back. We want to stop, and then we drive up to the top and all the way up, not just like kind of up. You want to squeeze and feel that every single rep, okay? 15 of them. Whew. So, there you go. That's our superset, you guys. Boom, the glutes, the butte. Now, this is a very backside focused superset. You're working the glutes on both of these, your butt muscles. So we will take, again, that about 30 seconds rest, trying to keep it under a minute with 45 seconds so that we can get through 3 more sets of this booty burning combo here. And then, yeah, then 1 more part after this of our leg strength, and then it's core time. Yay. So you guys can go again through 15. Those of you who do not have a chair, hopefully you know what to do, but if not, I got your back. You are going to just do this exact same hip thrust by a hip bridge, which is us doing the same exercise off of the floor, like this. You can put weights on your hips, you can put bands around your knees, you do either of those things. It's a little bit easier because we don't have as big of a range. If you don't have a chair, maybe you have a stair or a stool you can put your feet up on and go through something with your feet up. And that is kind of the in-between of this one and the one on the chair. So if you try this one down here and you're doing it, and maybe you have been doing it for, you know, however long, and you want to increase the intensity, make it a little bit harder. Putting your feet up on something is going to make it a bigger range of motion for you to have to go through, and it's just going to make you use those muscles more, make you feel it a little bit more. So something that you guys can do, and that you have to kind of take into your own hands, because I say a lot of things, I suggest a lot of things, but whatever you choose to do is really up to you. Okay, but what's not up to you is that you gotta get through this workout with me. We're gonna get through 3 more sets. Back to the first one, single deadlift to reverse lunge. Whenever you guys are ready, we will start our second set. So if you have like heavier dumbbells, you definitely don't have to use 2, you can just use 1. But I have just these 8ers, so I'm going to use 2 of them. I'll show you guys just the one for this example here. Again, we want to be soft knee in that leg, nice posture, and really focus on pushing hips back, not bringing our body down. Because you guys can see, if I bring my body down, it's very easy for me to just round my back like this. Whereas if I push my hips back, nothing's happening in here. Because that's not where the movement is on this one. It's not a back extension. We're not trying to work our lower back. We're trying to work our glutes. And so we want to move through the hips, because that's where the glutes are, and that's what they do. They move our hips. And so that's what's happening there. And then, of course, the lunge, we're stepping back, pulling ourselves up. And something that we can think about is the angle of our shin. We're stepping back and keeping the shin upright like this. It's going to give us more back here. It's also going to be safer on our knee. Whereas if I stay upright in my body and have my knee kind of come more forward, it's going to give me more work in the quad rather than the glute. It's also going to put a little bit more pressure on my knee. It's not necessarily going to hurt it right now doing this, but progressively it might. And so I tend to do this kind of stuff, hips back, mostly because I want that work in my glutes, but also just because I always want to avoid putting any extra stress or pressure on my knees. So we can take that into this second set. The deadlift, wow, sorry, balance. Whew, okay, deep breath, deadlift. And then you guys can go into the lunge. And again, just try to keep that shin upright on that lunge. Body can come forward a bit, and you'll feel lots of work and tension on the glute. Okay. So, following that one, but you guys need to do the second set because that one takes a hot minute, literally about a minute per side, maybe 45 seconds. It takes a while, but we'll get through it. Wow, this band is having a total moment right now. If your band's ever like attached to themselves and like ball up, you are not alone. Okay, especially the lighter ones. So if you guys are going into, again, your second set of the hip thrusts, whatever you did on the first set, you're going to do again, same thing on the second, third, and fourth set that we are going to do. So whether you have the weights, if you have the bands, again, it's probably right here. You can also have it right below your knees. It really does not matter, whatever floats your boat. But we want to make sure, and I talked about this I think last week, that the band is not too high. Because if the band's too high, we don't have that resistance where it needs to be, which is around the knees. Because what the band's doing is pulling the knees together, which means we have to work everything in our hips more to keep the band where it should be, or the knees in that neutral position, and not have them come together. So we'll go through the set. We can think about keeping that band there. And we want it to be in this position here, because if it's any higher or any lower, if it's down around our ankles, it's not giving us that knee resistance. All right, all right, all right. Okay, take it off and fling it away like a wet bathing suit. All right, so you guys are going through your third and fourth set. We have 2 more rounds of this very fun stuff. Then we will take some rest in between these sets. Once we're done the hip thrusts, you can just chill on the floor, sit on the chair, grab some water. You can stand up, walk it off. You can really do whatever you want to do for about 30 seconds, and then we will start our third set. 2 more to go through. Yes, getting up and down is part of the workout. It always is. It always is. Okay. Guys. So 2-0, getting it in. And then we will start our third set. Back to the first one, the deadlift to the lunge. Yeah. Okay. So we'll get you guys going on here in your third set. Second last time you are here. Yay. Let's do it. Back to that single loaded deadlift to lunge. Soft knee. Trying to go through this one. Stepping back into that lunge. And yes, balance is coming into play on this one. So try your best to use your balance and tap into it. Again, trying to not touch the foot between those two, the deadlift and the lunge. Of course, when the foot goes back, we have to touch down. But between them, when we go deadlift, and we come up, and then we go lunge, we're trying to just hold ourselves. And even just touching down a little bit really does make this a lot easier on that standing leg. It kind of relaxes all those little stabilizers. So that's why it's really important that you guys don't. And I'm talking like so serious about that. We're front load or we're one side loaded here. So if you really are touching down because your balance is not happening right now, what I would prefer you to do than touch down is move close to something like a wall. Lightly graze it. Don't hold on to anything, but just have it close there and just kind of put your knuckles on it and just graze it so that you can get that balance benefit, because that is what's going to make you guys better at it, not you kind of constantly putting your foot down and making it easy for yourself. That's never going to get you better at balance. And I know maybe it's not something that you even care about, but you should, because we all need to. We all need to forever, for our entire lives, because we want to be able to do this for as long as possible. Am I right? Am I right? Yes. So we'll take that into our next couple sets here. You guys have 2 more. Again, 8 of the combo move up here, and then 15 of the hip thrust, the bootay down there. Now this is kind of a foolproof combination here in terms of you feeling the right things in your hips and backside. That being said, some of us, we just need to think about it a little bit more than others because of, you know, the dynamics of our body, the way we're built, or what we do all day, or just overall our experience with, you know, activating our muscles and stuff. It really just helps if you guys actually feel it, and like you, like individual, like everyone is different. So like you need to feel this for yourself, okay? So third set, fourth set, hip thrust especially. Deadlift lunge, just kind of get through it, keep your form on point. Hip thrust though, this is when we are really good at this one. We have been practicing a hip thrust for months now, okay? So we should really get it going on here. Every single rep, do not leave the top of that rep until you feel some action going on in your backside. So we push up to the top and we don't leave until we actually feel a squeeze. You don't have to stay there long, but just enough so that you feel it, okay? And then you go down and then you do your next rep. And you do that every single rep, and you'll feel as you go through them, because you're doing 15, you don't have to hold it as long towards the end, but those first like 5 or 10, you might have to pause, or you might have to just take a moment to just like close your eyes and just really focus on your glutes, okay? So I'm so serious about it today, you guys. I want you to really think about that and get the most out of this. So we have one more round after this one. Squeeze the bootay, and then one more set. And then we are going to move on to the last part, which is a tricep, 3 exercises done in a little circuit style. And then we are finishing off literally on the floor with some abs, or some core rather. It's, yes, abs, but also like core. And we are looking so good on time. You guys have about 3 minutes to finish up this next part. And then we got the next part, which is tricep. Takes us about 10. And then we have a quick like 6-7 minute core. We actually might go a little overtime, but that's okay. Not too much overtime. All right, so we will start our 4th set. If you guys have not already started, let's do it up so that we can get through this without me having to cut you off and move you on to the next part so that we have enough time to do it. Like I said, it takes us about 10 minutes. So we will go through, again, the single lunge to deadlift, doing 8 of these per side. Going through them, taking a sweet time with it. There you go. Final set of these 2. And trying to get that balance work, not touching the floor, not using that back leg too much on that step back lunge. You guys got it. I know there's lots to think about. The more we can focus on all these little things, the better, the more you're going to get at this. So we'll go through our final set, 8 per side, followed by 15 of our hip thrusts. Whatever style you did them for the first 3 sets, definitely focusing on that mind to muscle connection and not leaving the top until you feel that squeeze going on 10 times or 15 times total. Let's do it. So shoulder blades are pulled together, core is tight. We want that ribs and pelvis situation happening before we start our set. Regardless if we have weights, bands, and nothing, it does not matter. And we go through 15. All right, final set. So I'll give you guys 2 minutes before we should be starting the next part. So let's get her done. The next part is on a timer, which is good news. I know, you don't have to count. But so we'll go through this final set here, you guys. Please take your time. Just because you don't have much time, don't let you rush your last set. Okay. Perfect. All right. So we'll do our thing here, you guys. Last part of our lower body strength. So you guys are going to go through this tricep. We have 3 exercises to go through. We're going to be working off of a timer. The timer is literally just going to beep every 30 seconds. So we're going 30 seconds, 30 seconds, and then 30 seconds on the next 2. And we're just going to repeat this 3 sets total. You guys only have to do this 3 times. And then we are moving on to the last part, which is core, which is also on timer. So yay. So split squats coming at you hot right now. You guys are going through 30 seconds per side of our split squats, preferably with your rear foot elevated. So because this is only 30 seconds per, I'm going to be holding weights down by my sides in front of me here. This is going to be the first one. Again, 30 seconds, and then we switch right away into the next leg for 30 seconds. Once the timer beeps again, we're going right into a wall sit hold for 30, and then we're going to finish with a pulsing squat for 30, and we repeat. So there's literally no rest, you guys. We just are hustling through this circuit, really tapping more into like that endurance, that leg burning sensation. Let's get it going on here, okay? I know I'm excited to do that. All right, we are starting in 3, 2, 1, here we go. So if you do not have something to elevate your back foot, we can just, again, do something like this down here and pulse up and down like so. But adding this back foot elevation, again, is just going to give us a bit more focus on that front back side. So again, preferably, you guys, I know I'm not holding them, but I would have you hold onto some weights for this, okay, which I will hold on my second set. We can always also band up that foot. 3, 2, and we'll switch legs. So right away into that second leg. No time, no rest. So just go right into that next leg. Get started on it. Let's do it. Go in through it. And you have the weights. We know the drill with these split squats. 90 degrees is the goal. 3, 2, 1, and time. All right, so if you guys have access to a wall, we're gonna sit down. You can hold your weights up at the front like this, and we're gonna hold this wall sit for 30 seconds. If you wanna make it a bit harder, you can lift both your toes at the same time. If you don't have a wall, we're just gonna hold, okay? 15 seconds. Okay, so you don't have to hold the weights. If you don't want to, you can always put them down. If you don't have weights, just that's okay. 3, 2, 1. We'll come off the wall. If you're holding weights, keep them, and we're gonna just pulse. And just stay low, and just go up and down, and just work through this one. Okay, so you guys are working through for 15 more seconds. Oh, yes, you guys, this is not a drill. Burning legs, I was not lying. All right, so get down there. 3, 2, 1, and right into our second set, you guys. Right away, back foot up, and here we go. So really, this one's just about keeping you moving. We don't want you to stop or rest. We want to just keep your legs working through these 3 exercises, going through them. If you're finding that you're not going to make it, you can always put the weights down, maybe put 1 down, whatever you need to do. 5 more seconds on this side. Last one. 3, 2, and switch sides. Good job, you guys. So other leg, let's go. Right away. Same thing you did on the first side. Ooh, the burn. I mean, we've done some crazier stuff on split squats than just 30 seconds per side, but this is specific combination. I know, it is fire in the legs. That's what's the best kind of fire there is. You're gonna feel so good after this. 3, 2, 1, and time. Nice work, you guys. Okay, right into that wall sit. You have access to the wall, and if not, we are just holding that squat. Okay, so we'll work through this. 1 2 more seconds. Trying to pull in our belly button. Breathe, don't hold our breath. 10 more seconds. Good job, you guys. 3, 2, 1, and off the wall, and we'll work with that little pulse. So same idea as that kind of 1 1/4 rep, but we didn't want to bounce. I know this is a pulse, but we want to go with control, as much control as possible. We don't want to be going too fast up and down. And the slower we go, harder. Don't take my word for it. Try it yourself. 10 seconds left. Slow it down. Stick your butt out. We have 1 more set. I think we can handle this. Okay. Last set, you guys. Here we go. Final one. Let's do it. Right into our split squats for the last round. 30 seconds per side. So yeah, this set is going to be the hardest. This is the one that you're really gonna have to like exhale through those reps on, because you're the most tired right now. Your mind knows you're almost done, but we'll try our best to finish as strong as we started. 3, 2, 1, and we'll switch sides. Nice job, you guys. So other leg, other side, right into it. Ain't no rest in between. Let's go. So same thing here. Trying to push yourself up with that breath. Finish up strong here. 15 seconds. We got it. Last set of the split squats. Not so bad today. Maybe you're not feeling that way right now, but 3, 2, 1, and right away, wall sit it out. Good job, you guys. 90 degrees, hands away from the thighs, and preferably maybe holding some weights up here. We'll stay here and breathe into this position for 15 more seconds, because that is what you guys got left on the timer. Let's do it. There you go. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and we'll go into those pulses. Nice and slow, controlled. Again, if we want to make it a little bit harder, we'll pulse a little bit slower. 90 degrees is the goal. Again, unless you have some pre-existing knee stuff going on, then maybe we're not sitting quite as low as 90. Which is totally fine. Just slow it down. 10 more seconds. Let's go. Take it slow. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Nice work, you guys. Okay, good job. So we're going to take the next minute to just walk it off, shake out our legs, and bring ourselves down onto the floor where we're going to finish off our final part. So you guys are going to be working off this timer still. We do not need any equipment. This is a body weight core focused circuit, but we are going down there to stay. So I'm just going to move my weights and this chair out of the way, which if you need to do as well, you can. Okay. So, all right. We are going down to the floor. This is perfect. Okay. All right. Hello. So final part, you guys can come join me down on the floor here. This one is pretty short and sweet. We're going to go through the same amount of time, 30 seconds, but we will have 10 seconds of time or rest in between, although it's not necessarily rest. It's mostly just time for you guys to like switch between these exercises, okay? So what we're going to do, first one is that half side plank with our internal and external hip rotation. So we're gonna hold one side for 30 seconds, switch and do the other side for 30 seconds, and then we have one more core exercise that we're going to do with this one for that last 30 seconds. And then we'll repeat through 4 rounds total. We are done. We are so done. Okay, so we're gonna start off with this first one, this half side plank, bent leg, and we wanna go internal, external, rotation of that leg. Okay, so get yourself into position, starting in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Let's do it. So hips forward, internal, external, chest open. If this is too hard, you can put your foot down and just work with the opening if you need to. Okay, but at least try to keep it hover for this first set. 10 seconds left. There it is. Nice work, you guys. 3, 2, 1, and we will switch sides. So we're gonna flip over, flip-a-roo, and switch and get ready to start this other side here. In 3, 2, 1, and here we go. So hips forward, internal, external, and we'll go through it. Chest open, and we are breathing. So you guys are gonna stay with us here 15 more seconds. There it is. Good job. 3, 2, 1. All right, so last one, you guys can sit up like this, walk your hips back, sit into our chest, V-hold position like so, and we're going to go down, keep our arms forward, try to touch our lower back, and then come up and try to touch our heels. And so this is going to be us for this last 30 seconds. If you find this is too hard, you can try either not going so low or a little bit of support from your arms behind you, and we can go through. So we get core as well as legs and hip work in this one. 10 seconds left. There you go. And rest. Good job, you guys. All right, we're gonna start our second set. Back to this first one. Here we go. Internal and external, and we are burning in this hip, in our core, pulling it in, pushing our hips forward. Let's do it. There we go. 10 more seconds left. Good job, you guys. Stay with us. When in doubt, just hold that position and rest. All right, so we just side of a side, side of a side. 3, 2, 1. We go. Aside. Let's do it up. So whatever you did on the first side, we will try our best to mimic over here. Keep it same, keep it even as possible, of course. Mostly just focus on your breathing, controlling that breath. Exhaling through that burning lactic acid, burning sensation, feeling that you guys are getting in your hips. 3, 2, 1, and time. All right, so we'll get ourselves into this V-hold position like so, and chest up, Lift up your legs, arms in front of you, and then we'll go down and come up, and again, try to touch those heels. So chest open, shoulders back behind us. If we're feeling too much in the legs or the hips, you guys can use a little bit of support from your arms, and that's gonna just make it a little easier. Still probably will feel that, but hopefully a little bit less. 10 seconds left. There you go. Good job, you guys. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, nice work. So we are going to start our third set. Back to the half side plank with that internal external rotation. Let's go, you guys. Back to the first side. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but my brother's dog is snoring so loud. She is a French bulldog, so her face is like smashed in, and so she like cannot breathe without snoring. But it's really hilarious when she sleeps. All right, 10 seconds left for you to breathe through this, get through this. Come on, you guys. 3, 2, 1, and rest and switch. You got it going on. Other side, other leg. Deep breath. Ready? And here we go. So we'll work with this rotation, trying to again push our hips forward in front of us. And when in doubt, just hold that half side plank. You can even just hold your leg up. You don't have to rotate it. You don't have to open it. You just keep it there. 10 more seconds left. We can work on building up that strength. 3, 2, 1. Rest. Good job, you guys. Okay, so we got that one for our abs, our hips, and front side, starting in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So chest up, shoulders back, and we go through our set, trying to again touch that lower back down to the floor between every one of those reps, which I know is totally easier said than done, like most stuff that I want you guys to do in here. But try your best. Try your best. 5 seconds. Come on. 3, 2, 1, and good job, you guys. We have one more round. This is it. And then we are stretching it out, and we're done. All right. Here we go. Last set, half side plank. Try to open up, close that hip. Trying to not move the top part of the leg, just that lower leg. So we're focusing on that rotation inward, outward. 15 seconds left. You got it. You do. We are so close to being done. We need to finish up strong here. Come on. 5. Yes. 3, 2, 1. Time. Good job, you guys. Okay, so we're going to switch sides. A flippity flip over to the other side, where you will start right now. Here we go. So same thing here. Last set of our half side planks. 20 seconds left here. Good job, you guys. Breathe through this. 10 seconds. So close. There it is. 3, 2, 1. Rest. Nice job. Okay, last one. Sitting on our butts, walking back our hips, starting in 3, 2, 1. And here we go. Chest up, shoulders back. Do it up on this last set. Strong finish, you guys. 20 seconds and we are literally done with the day. We can start our days. Whatever day it is when you're doing this, get on with your day in 10 more seconds. Okay, you've got to stay with us right now. Get like maybe 3 more of those, maybe 4. Come on. 3, 2, 1, and time. And you guys are so very done. But I am going to leave you with a couple of stretches because if you did all those things, you probably feel like you need to stretch out a little bit. Okay, so we're going to stretch out your legs. We're going to start off with your hip flexors in the front. I'm going to be doing my half kneeling hip flexor stretch. I'll level up my mat. Get that little soft mat action going on, and then I will take this half meal. Oh, it feels so nice after all that stuff. I'm just having to show it to you guys. So we'll definitely take at least a minute on both sides, one time at least. Spend it here, pelvic tilting, squeezing our butts, really getting that hip stretch going on there. Stay here, okay? I'm just gonna show these ones to you guys, but please take your time, even so much so that if you have to like get out your timer or like watch a clock or something, and just make sure that you're actually staying here for a minute, you're gonna get much more out of it than you just kind of 30 seconds, 20 seconds, and then switching. That 60-second hold is gonna help you actually like elongate and lengthen these muscles in your hips and overall prevent that tight hip flexor, tight lower back situation, okay? So do it one side and then you'll switch and you can do the other side. We talked last week about doing this one standing as well, which is always an option. So you can do that there as well, or instead of rather. So hips and then your glutes and your butt is another one that we need to stretch. So you guys have options. We can go into this one, this kind of yoga pigeon stretch here, or we can lay onto our back and get the same stretch, which is a lot more comfortable for someone with sensitive knees, and do it like this, or maybe with their foot up against the wall. Okay, so this is you guys. Anything else that you want to stretch, maybe your lower back, maybe your upper body, whatever it is you want to do, we're nice and warm, perfect time to do it. Y'all know that already though. You guys are done with me though, so thank you so much for tuning in to our first official class in our new home for the next, I want to say like a few weeks, but maybe even a month or something, because we have to build it down there. So progress pics to come. It's all cleaned out and we're just kind of working on waterproofing it right now. But anyways, thank you guys so much. I hope you all have a wonderful day and you feel amazing. And I will see you guys tomorrow for upper body. Bye.